Gameranx presents 10 facts about the Metal Gear Solid series that you probably didn't know. The Metal Gear series is a treasure trove of hidden secrets and facts, but we tried to narrow down our list to the most weirdest and offbeat bits of trivia. So let's get started with number 10. The Sonique gameplay on the original Metal Gear on MSX was actually because of a design necessity. Yes, because of the hardware limitations, series creator Hideo Kojima decided to develop a game where the main objective is actually to avoid the enemy instead of fight them. Of course, the design of our hero Solid Snake is that he's a badass action movie star, but ultimately he spends most of his time sneaking around and avoiding fighting. The most interesting thing is that Konami bosses weren't really into this idea, but it turns out that idea was completely golden, and now we have a complete genre of stealth games today. At number 9, we have a little factoid about the Gray Fox / Cyborg Ninja boss battle in Metal Gear Solid 1. Of course, the lead up and the fight itself is very creepy with lots of weird ambient noises and sound effects, including a sort of weird chanting gibberish. Here's the fun fact, all that gibberish are actually the names of different Japanese train stations. At number 8, we have a lesser-known dream sequence in Metal Gear Solid 3. This minigame was actually written and directed by Shuyo Murata. Murata, for those of you who don't know, eventually went on to co-direct Metal Gear Solid 4. This dream sequence can only be accessed right after Snake is tortured by Colonel Volgin. The player, of course, is then placed in a jail cell, but they must save that game before they escape the jail cell. If you quit the game and then load that save, you will enter this dream sequence. And the Guy Savage dream sequence is really ridiculous. It's a hack and slash game where the player runs around with 2 hook swords and slashes up zombies and crates and stuff. It's so not Metal Gear, but in the same sense, it's completely Metal Gear because it's just so out there and weird and unexpected. At number 7, we all know about the classic tricks from Metal Gear Solid 1, including plugging your controller into the second port to beat Psycho Mantis, the mind-reading boss battle. And then of course we also have looking up the codec number on the back of a CD case. But a cool and lesser-known fourth wall breaking trick is that the game will actually recognize if you're playing on a mono TV compared to a stereo TV. Before the Battle of the Hind D, the Colonel instructs you to use your ears to hear where the helicopter is coming from.
Use your ears, Snake. You should be able to tell where he's coming from by the sound of his rotor blades.
But then he'll actually call you out if you're using a mono TV instead of a stereo TV because you won't be able to hear it. It's really weird and so ahead of its time from 1998. At number 6, we have the design of Solid Snake himself. We all know he's basically an amalgamation of a bunch of 80s action movie tropes like Big Trouble in Little China and Snake Plissken and stuff like that. But he was also designed and intended to have the nimble but muscular body of Jean-Claude Van Damme. He sure can kick like him. But the real kicker is the design of his face, which was actually modeled off of Christopher Walken. Gaunt eyes, thin nose, thin jaw. The legendary character designer Yoji Shinkawa really nailed it on this one. At number 5, the Metal Gear series is riddled with movie and pop culture references, but here's a little one that I picked up on from one of you guys on Twitter. All the Otacon characters, or the Emmerich family, both Hal and David, are references to 2001: A Space Odyssey's Hal and David. And that's pretty cool. I just never realized that. At number 4, we have something completely bizarre. When Hideo Kojima was designing another game called Snatcher, this is a murder mystery style game, he wanted the discs to be coated with a special type of paint that when heated up, start to melt and smell like blood. Yes, Hideo Kojima wanted to actually melt a disc in your disk drive to make it smell like the odor of blood during a murder mystery. That is so Hideo Kojima. Konami, of course, didn't want to go along with this crazy idea, but the rumor out there is that this was also considered for Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation 1. Imagine having a smell-o-vision disk drive? That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Also, I wouldn't want shit melting in my disk drive. Now we're down to number 3. Did you know that the original level designers in Metal Gear Solid 1 actually mapped out some of the levels with Legos? Yeah, during an interview, Hideo Kojima talked about the design of the original game and how level designers were so meticulous that they actually wanted to see it in a real space, so they built it all with Legos. And now here I am wishing that we had an official Metal Gear Solid Lego set, or maybe even see Solid Snake in the Lego movie. At number 2, we have Ground Zeroes. Now, in the initial conceptual phases of the game, it was originally intended to be a PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Portable game. This is a complete far cry from the glorified demo that it became. Ultimately, I think we're better for it because we got the super advanced Fox engine running the new game, and it looks absolutely awesome. I mean, come on, look at the Phantom Pain. Imagine if the Phantom Pain was just a PlayStation Portable game. And at number 1, I had trouble really finding something that is worthy of a number 1, so I just picked one of my most favorite little tricks from the Metal Gear series. In the battle with the End in Metal Gear Solid 3, you can actually defeat him with time and old age. Yes, I'm totally serious. If you, the player, as Snake, saves their game in the middle of the battle and you wait over a week before playing again, you will start up your game and learn that the End will have died of old age.
Drop your weapon!
He was over fucking 100 years old, I mean, come on. You can also have set your PlayStation 2's internal clock a week ahead to get the same result. Even crazier, speaking of advancing the game a week, Hideo Kojima actually wanted the boss battle to last 2 weeks. Yes, 2 weeks. Yes, to capture that long, drawn-out, realistic sniper battle that just takes survival, patience, and persistence. Of course, other designers and Konami really didn't want to go for that because a 2-week boss battle is probably the craziest thing I've ever heard. And that is another reason why I love Metal Gear Solid. So guys, those were 10 facts about Metal Gear Solid that you might not have known. Of course, there are probably some of you hardcore fans out there that might have known, so we want to know what you guys think of this list. And of course, we really want you to share some facts that you have of your own. Like I said earlier, the series is a treasure trove of hidden secrets, Easter eggs, and other surprises, and that's what makes it so damn special, so let's talk about it in the comments below. Of course, if you had a good time liking this video, is definitely a great thing to do because it really helps us out. And following me on Twitter @JakeBaldino is awesome, especially if you just want to talk Metal Gear. I always want to talk Metal Gear with people. My mom and dad won't talk about it with me. And of course, subscribing if you're new is the best thing you can do because we do videos like this and giveaways all the time. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.